There are so many myths about Dubai real estate.
Real estate in Dubai is only 24 years old. It has gone through trial and error. 2008 was a global economic crisis. It's not something that happened only to Dubai.
So is this market saturated or there's a huge opportunity for that?
If you're going to enter an industry with the thought process of what that industry is going to give you without first thinking what you are going to give that industry,
You ask them what they need instead of you tell them what you have. Like this is the project, these are the facilities, these are the amenities.
I didn't like it when my father was trying to give me advice. My father didn't like it when my grandfather was trying to give him advice. And it's not about starting, it's about continuing. Consistency is everything. Who told you that you need to be motivated to work every day?
Welcome to Be Honest podcast. I'm your host Junaid Jashudi. We have an amazing conversation on this podcast where we speak with various creators, entrepreneurs, and different individuals speaking about their life experiences, insights, and lot to learn. So this podcast is for young individuals who aspire to become something in life through experiences and get inspired through life stories. And today we have an amazing guest with us, Miss Alisha. So we are going to speak about real estate, content creation, and personal branding, and lots of many things what Alisha have experienced throughout the life. So this is going to be something very interesting. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel and let's dive into the podcast.
Dubai is one of the best places right now to be doing something in the content space. And it's great to sit down with you and chat more about it.
So before diving into the podcast, we have a quick game. There are 3 rounds,
Okay.
which is about you, where you have to discover yourself and speak what comes to your mind. Okay. First stage, it will be easy, which will be green in color.
Okay.
So you have to pick a number from 1 to 10.
A number from 1 to 10, 9.
9. So what is a piece of advice you often give to others?
What is an advice that I give to people? To be very honest, this is the advice that I give to people, especially all my girls. I always tell them to be kind to themselves, as kind as they are to other people. I tell them to show themselves the same kindness. So I think I always tell people, be as kind to you as you would be to anybody else.
That's very nice.
Yeah.
Okay, let's come to the stage second, which is orange.
Okay.
So pick a number from 1 to 10.
Okay, so 7.
7. Who is someone you admire greatly and what qualities do you admire in them?
Who's someone I admire greatly? I admire my husband quite a bit. I've been married to him for 10, 11 years now, so I think I have to admire him. But no, what I admire truly about him is the fact that he has taught me that persistence overcomes resistance. And I have learned consistency and persistence, the power of consistency and persistence from him. So I think I admire that, his relentless work ethic more than anything.
So next we have another last question.
I have to choose one more number?
Yeah, you have to choose one more number. Out of 1 to 10, what would you choose?
1.
1. What is the biggest risk you have ever taken and how did it change you?
The biggest risk I ever took was getting married to Zohaib. And it has made me the person who I am today. So it's made me, the biggest risk in life was marrying and moving to Dubai. And I did that and it's shaped me into the person I am today. And I wouldn't have it any other way. So I think that's the biggest risk.
All right. So since you are mentioning a lot about Zohaib, how about we start with Zohaib itself? So, like, what was the story? When I asked my audience as well, this you are coming on the podcast, what's the question I'd like to ask you? And they wanted to know, how did you meet Zohaib and what was the story behind it?
It's, we get this question quite a bit, to be honest. And most people think that we had a love marriage. And most people are very surprised when I tell them that we were actually introduced by our families. We've actually had an arranged marriage. Back in November 2013, we were introduced by our families to each other. We were married 7 months later in June 2014. And here we are. We just celebrated our 11-year anniversary last weekend.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
So, like, what was your initial stage of your marriage? Like, was it like you started learning from initial stage or how was it? What was your mindset at that time before meeting Zohaib?
So, learning real estate?
Not real estate, about life.
About life in general. I mean, I was 24, 25 years old. And I think one of the things that when I first was introduced to Zoeb and I got to know him as a person, right off the bat, he came across as an extremely funny, extremely humorous person, but also somebody that had his priorities right in terms of, like, one of the first things he ever told me was, I want to live with my parents as well. And today we're doing that. So today, both my mother-in-law as well as my father live together with us.
All right, that's amazing. So since we spoke about that was the initial conversation, we will get to you about you, your career, and what's the thing which changed your life. So how was your starting career? What did you do?
So I grew up in a time where in India, there were only two careers possible. You could either be a doctor or you could be an engineer. So I chose to study medicine. So I actually studied to be a dentist. I'm actually a dentist. I worked in India as a dentist for 3-4 years before moving to Dubai. After I moved to Dubai, our family circumstances were such that I could not practice dentistry in Dubai. And I joined our family business. There I did paper recycling. I did finance for paper recycling for about 6 years in my father-in-law's business before transitioning full-time into real estate with Zoeb back in 2020. So for the past 5 years, I've been working shoulder to shoulder with Zoeb in real estate. So that's kind of where the journey has been for us.
So you came to Dubai in 2020?
No, in 2014.
2014. And you were in practicing medical?
No, I wasn't. So I graduated in 2011 in India, in Pune. I worked from 2011 until 2014 in India as a dentist. Then I moved here in 2014. I switched over into finance and I did finance for a paper recycling company, which is my father-in-law's business for 6 years. So I did that from 2014 until 2020. And then 2020 is where I quit their family business and I started working with Zoeb full-time in real estate. And then 2022 is where we founded Original Bull and Bear Properties.
Got it. So you were in, you got into real estate very recently. I mean, few years right now. But Zoeb was in real estate from quite a long time.
Zoeb has been doing it for a really long time now. With Zoeb, since the early 2000s, I mean, he's born and raised in Dubai. So he's been lucky that he's got to experience multiple facets of real estate. He actually did development. He developed 2 buildings in Dubai Silicon Oasis in the early 2000s with a private developer. Then he went into hospitality, also with a private developer. They actually built a hotel right here in Barsha, also back in the early 2000s. Then he did quite a bit of rental and secondary sales. After the 2008 crash, I mean, sales were slow at that time, but rentals used to do really well. So he moved into rentals and he moved into secondary sales. He did that from around 2008, 2009, all the way until about 2016. 2017 is where he decided to move exclusively into off-plan real estate. And since 2017, he's been exclusively specializing in building portfolios and managing portfolios. I joined him in 2020, and then 2022 is where we opened up.
How was your initial days in real estate?
To be very honest, my initial days in real estate were okay. My introduction to real estate was very unconventional. How it actually started for me is I'm blessed with a very good memory. And Zoeb is blessed with a very bad memory. So in early 2017, 2018, when he first started doing exclusively only off-plan, he would, talk about various projects that are in the city and stuff. And then he would be working on a client's requirement. And because he had bad memory, he would come home and tell me everything. And he would be like, just remember, there's this developer in this area. This is the project. This is the payment plan. This is the handover. This is the project. This is another project. This is another project, and so on and so forth. And I used to remember that for him. So then every evening or, once in a week or twice in a week, he would be like, I'm working on this client and this is his requirement and I'm thinking to offer him this. And he'd be like, he would list like 1 or 2 projects. And then I would, be like, yeah, but didn't you tell me there was this other project also? Maybe you could offer that as well. And mind you, at this time, I didn't know what these projects were. I didn't know what the developers were. I didn't know what these areas were. I didn't know anything. I was just purely going from memory, right? Because that's what he had told me to remember. So that's kind of where it started for me. Then social media happened and Zoeb became one of the first people that started creating content in real estate in Dubai. And I started doing research. Now, I love to read because, I'm a nerd like that.
Okay.
So I started doing research on topics that he could put down into content.
Yeah.
And that's kind of where my journey into Dubai real estate began. So when I joined him on the fields and I started to work, it was pretty easy because for the first 1 year, I was working with him as a broker. And then I switched and, went to a developer. So
Were you active on social media from long back?
personally, yes. Professionally, not so much. Personally, I think from maybe 2020, end of 2021, 2022 is where we first started making content.
Okay. How did you get the idea of like real estate niche, like starting a content through real estate?
So this again, and this I think the credit for this definitely goes to Zoeb, not me, because he has been doing content since 2018.
Yeah.
And for him, he used to actually do like even posting images on Instagram,
Got
and
it.
because back in the day there was no stories, there was no reels. It was just
The
Instagram was a
photos.
pictures sharing
Yeah.
app, right? So he used to like make those individual pictures and share it and so on. And I remember telling him, I'm like, Zoeb, who's going to go on Instagram to find a real estate agent? And he would tell me that, no, there is something in this. One day you will see. And he kept doing it, kept doing it, kept doing it. So by the time I started doing it in late 21, early 22, he was already doing it. So then for me to transition and start doing content with him was easier. But then I started doing it personally for myself, full power by, say, 2022.
2020. So you were confident on camera from
Yeah, I would like to say so. I am not a camera shy person. My mother has always encouraged me as a child to participate in debates and elocutions and, public speaking and stuff like that. So for me, this was just another version of public speaking.
So can you tell me about since we're speaking about your early days, like you came from India to Dubai, UAE, right? So
Yeah.
how was those days? How do you see those days from this?
From now, I think the biggest thing is, back in the day, in 2014, when I moved here, I was coming from India where we had unlimited data. And today we're used to unlimited data. But back in 2014, data used to still be so expensive in Dubai. We used to have 1 GB a month. And there was no Google Maps. So getting around the city would be so difficult. I would constantly keep missing exits. Because it's something, in India, we're used to a right-hand drive.
Yeah.
Here you come in and there's a left-hand drive. So first you're learning to drive on the other side of the road. Then you're like, I don't know the roads. Then you're getting lost 10 times. That was the challenging part. I didn't have friends here because I didn't know anybody here. So the other challenge was leaving all my friends behind, my life behind, and then coming here, starting a new life, building new friends, new connections. That was the secondary thing. And then the third thing, which is what has stayed with me about Dubai, is the speed at which everything gets done.
Exactly.
So when I came, Sheikh Zayed Road used to be a flat road. And then I remember we used to live in Garud at that time. And I always say this so fondly. Our office used to be in Jebel Ali. So I used to drive from Sheikh Zayed Road, from Garud to Jebel Ali. And one day I was going to office and there was like a detour. So they had closed off some lanes and there was a detour. So the 6-lane road became like a 2-lane road. And the same thing on the other side as well. And this continued for a year and we didn't know what was happening. A year later, they removed the barricades and they had actually lifted the entire Sheikh Zayed Road and made the Business Bay Bridge and brought in the canal, brought in the water from the canal. And I was amazed, my eyes I was literally amazed. I was so overwhelmed, I couldn't speak. So it was the sheer speed at which things work in this city, the speed at which things are done in this city. I think for me, that was the biggest adjustment.
That's great. And you're here right now.
Yeah, and we're here right now. And now it's become like, so we're used to this now. But initially, when you first come, I think that kind of is a culture shock more than anything else.
More than like the city where we live in, that inspired us more than what we are today.
100%. I believe it's the vision. And I was very recently, I was talking to somebody else within the real estate industry, and we were saying the same thing. It's the vision of the leadership of this country that has a trickle-down effect on all of us. There is something about the vision of His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum and the Crown Prince of Dubai. I have not seen a city in the world where there is so much importance given to fitness and health and content creation and, creativity in any form. Literally, the city has a 30 by 30 challenge every year.
Yeah.
The leadership of the country just makes us want to be better and do better and be the best versions of ourselves because they do that. They show up for all of us on a daily basis, and that makes us want to show up every day. So I think that's the beauty. of the city.
How do you manage your time?
I try is the best answer.
How is your schedule like?
So we're out of the house from, I mean, normally I go to the gym in the morning. So I leave the house around 7:15. I get home around 8:30. So I'm out for major part of the day, which is spent mostly at work or going to developers' offices, filming content, making sure that our clients are happy and everything is well taken care of. My office is running fine and so on. My family gets the brunt of it. I only get to spend time with my family on the weekends and my friends. And so I think that's the way we manage it.
Okay, so let's get back to one more point which we missed. How did original Bull and Bear properties started?
Like I said, Zoeb had been doing real estate for a really long time. And we were finally at a place where we realized two things: that we had more clients reaching out to us than we could service by ourselves alone. So it was time for us to grow our team where we needed that support to be able to take care of the demand that we had. And secondly, because we had been in this industry for so long, we knew what was lacking, we wanted to start something small where we are able to provide tailor-made solutions for each client. There's no one mold fits all. There's no one formula that's right for everyone. So what we specialize in is understanding individual clients' needs, building individual portfolios and managing individual portfolios. So for us, we're not a massive organization, where clients are not a number. We provide personalized service. We provide personalized service. We build a brand and we go all the way with our clients. And that's kind of where it was time for us to start. Because
what was your vision? Like, where do you want to see your company in the next 5 to 10 years?
I get asked this question quite a lot, and everybody says that, do you see yourself becoming a 150 people agency or a 200 people agency? Because that's become kind of the industry norm today. But that is something that me personally, I have never wanted. Me personally, I feel that I want to be a max of 35 to 50 people agency. Because again, because for me, this has been our ethos from day one. It's not the number of people that we have on the floor. It's the quality of the people that we have. It's the quality of the service that we provide. I don't care about having 100 clients. I would rather have 10 clients, but provide them the quality of service that I do to each client individually. So in the next 4 to 5 years, ideally, I see us having a ground floor showroom somewhere on Sheikh Zayed Road, a 30 to 50 people agency. And as soon as you enter the agency, there will be a round turnstile on which there'll be a Harley-Davidson. That's it. That's the vision.
Okay, since we spoke about Harley-Davidson, let's go there. So how was the journey? Like, how did you get into biking? What was the story behind it?
You're from India, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, riding bikes in India is pretty normal.
Yes.
If you want to get to places within cities, you are riding bikes. So I first got onto a moped, like a bike, not a geared bike, like a Vespa style bike. Yeah, like a scooter. When I was 10, 11 years old, to get from home to my tuition classes and stuff like that. And it was encouraged by my family. They never had a problem. So they were very happy with that. Then when I was around 14, 15 years old, my brother taught me how to ride his bike, which was a Yamaha. And then when we were in school and when we went to college, when I was in college, I was one of the first people in my friend circle to get a car, whereas the guys in my friend group all had bikes. And they would have like these nice Kawasaki Ninjas and stuff like that. And, like these, I don't know, whatever some smart bikes in India. And when they would want to take their girlfriends out on dates, they would be like, hey, Alisha, can we take your car? Because we're going out on a date. And I'd be like, okay, but then I still need something to get around and do my errands. And they'd be like, here's our bike and please, here, go do it. So I would take their bike. They would take the car. I would roam around the city on the bike. And that's how my love for biking came about.
Okay.
When I moved to Dubai, also really wanted to get his bike license. So he went ahead and got his bike license. And then I went and got my bike license.
Okay, was it you or Zohaib who loved bikes?
So both of us do. I have been biking since I was a child. He started biking as an adult, but he got his license first in Dubai. I got my license second.
Got it. And what's the story behind the name Biker Girl?
It's my identity, I guess. I mean, when I first started riding bikes in Dubai, there weren't that many women bikers. Even now, of course, now there are a lot more than there were back in the day. Normally, you don't see very many women riding bikes and even lesser women riding Harley-Davidsons. So given the fact that my bike of choice is a Harley-Davidson, I was like, you know what, why not? This resonates with me. I'm a biker, I'm a girl, and I'm based in Dubai. So biker girls, why? It makes sense. It's catchy, it's small, and it's easy to remember.
Exactly. That's how we know you.
Yeah, so...
Yeah. So let's get into the real estate part and Dubai. So where do you see what is affecting real estate market right now? How is it in the real estate market in Dubai?
What is your opinion as an outsider?
As new to Dubai, wherever I go, there are building construction coming up. And like when I came to Dubai, someone said, if you see any empty space here right now, in next 2 to 3 years, you see there will be a building. So I was like, okay, that's nice. But what's the actual idea of this many buildings? Like there are many people coming up and there are so many myths about Dubai real estate as well. Like, for example, geopolitical scenarios, such like what's happening currently. So we will start from there.
Sure.
So, I mean, it will affect the UAE market. So what's your take on this?
Well, see, whenever something happens anywhere around the world, the ripple effect of that will be seen in the surrounding areas or in those areas that, you know, those countries trade with and deal with and stuff like that. Yes, geopolitically, of course, you know, we are all aware of what is happening in the surrounding areas. But one of the beauty of UAE is the way that it is geographically positioned as well. It connects, like 45% of the world's cargo moves through the UAE. So we are the logistical hub for 45% of the world's cargo. So in that way, we're extremely well connected with the rest of the world. And I feel that we are one of the regional superpowers in this region because we are also one of the most safest and one of the most stable countries here. Again, you know, I mean, my belief in the visionary leadership of the UAE, we all sleep peacefully at night. And I have been sleeping peacefully over here for the past 11 years without feeling a thing. And I think in that way, we're in the middle of an expansion. Yes, like you very rightly said, there are a lot of people that are coming into Dubai. And I feel like it's a great time to be in the UAE right now.
Okay, so we have a long way to go.
We definitely have a long way to go. If you see, even in terms of real estate in Dubai is only 24 years old. The freehold decree came out in 2002, after which foreigners were allowed to buy properties in Dubai. And today we're in 2024. So our market is literally 22 years old. We're in infancy. We still have a long way to go.
What's the worst thing that can happen in real estate market right now? Because we have seen the scenario like 2008, 2020. So if there is anything worse that can happen, what could that be, according to you?
So I don't think that, you know, saying that something is, I don't think that it's a worse thing. 2008 was a global economic crisis. That's not something that happened only to Dubai. Again, at that time, Dubai real estate was in such infancy stages. There weren't any guidelines, there weren't regulations, there weren't government departments and legal frameworks put in place to, well, what's the word? To safeguard the rights of investors and homeowners and tenants and landlords. Like, this legal framework did not exist back then. But if you see, one of the best things about UAE is that they learn and they adapt and they become better for the next time. So post 2008 is where RERA came into the picture, the DLD, the Dubai Land Department, and the Real Estate Regulatory Authority came into the picture. Today, this market is so well regulated that there is a legal framework, there are guidelines, there are laws that protects the rights of both tenants as well as landlords, as well as investors, as well as homeowners, as well as developers, as well as clients. There is something in this market for everyone. Like, it's been a learning curve. I don't think that there is anything worse that can happen. Because also, see, initially, yes, of course, like, you know, people will talk about 2008 and then they will talk about 2014 or 2020 and so on and so forth. But these are also the initial phases, right? Like, that was also the initial stage of Dubai real estate. Now that we're entering what is now known as the maturing phase of this industry, our frameworks protect all of us. So that way, where our growth is very sustained, it's a very stable growth. We're not looking at put your money today and it's going to become double tomorrow. No, we're not looking at a bubble. We're not looking at any of that. We're looking at very sustained growth over a longer period of time.
The foundation is strong.
The foundation Yes, because it has gone through trial and errors. It has gone through its fair share of setbacks. And the market has bounced back. The leadership has bounced back. The developers have rallied. The investors have rallied. So yes, everyone has learned. Everyone has made their mistakes. Like you said, it has been a trial and error to finally reach a place where now we're able to say that this is the polished version of our industry. Where we go forward beyond this is just polishing it more and more.
Got it. Okay, let's talk about the clients and the investors, people who want to invest in Dubai, buy property in Dubai. What's their mindset currently? What they are looking for?
I think buyer profiles in the UAE has changed over the past couple of years because when I first moved to Dubai, people's mindset used to be, let's come to Dubai, let's work here for a couple of years, let's make money and then go back home. So in that way, this was a transient destination.
Indians.
Especially Indians, you're right. Like at that time, Dubai was a stopover. Today, Dubai is no longer a stopover. Dubai has become the destination, right? Earlier for Indians, if they wanted to go to Canada or they wanted to go to the UK or the US or wherever, it was very like, okay, we're going there. We're going to halt in Dubai. We'll live in Dubai for 2 days and then go on to the West. But today, Dubai has become a destination. And I think that has been the biggest change that has come. And that has come because UAE is not only offering a good place to live, like a good apartment, but there's also like stability in the region. There is good government. There is opportunities for growth. There is great schooling. There's great tourism. There's medical facilities, the standard of living, infrastructure, everything. It's the complete package. And I think that's what buyers and investors want today. They want the complete package and Dubai is delivering it.
So I have one more question with regards to the brokerage, since you guys are doing one of those. So is this market saturated or there's a huge opportunity for that?
You know, we were really literally just talking about this on the way here. And I was telling my associate who drove with me here, everybody says that their industry is saturated. But we started our company in 2022 and here we are in 2025. The market absorbed us. Our clients work with us. So if you provide good value and you do honest work and you are good at what you do and you stand out, you excel in your field, there is always scope in whichever field. It just depends what you are. Don't say that. I mean, I feel that it's not that a field is saturated. It's how much you want to put into it. If you're going to put in a half-hearted effort, you're going to get back half-hearted returns.
Got it.
So if you're going to enter an industry with the thought process of what that industry is going to give you without first thinking what you are going to give that industry, then yes, there is no scope. Yes, it is difficult for new agents to crack their first deals. It does not come. Anything that is worth having does not come easy. It really doesn't. I mean, you know, this is not the first time that Zoeb has started an agency. He did start his agency back in the early 2000s as well. And he wasn't ready for it. He blew it up. In 6 months, he shut down, right? Today, we're here for more than 3 years and Alhamdulillah, I know we're going to be here for a while. We're here to stay, inshallah. So everything, it depends on what all these people who say that there's no money, it's really difficult to make a deal. Yes, it is difficult, but what is the value that you are adding? Why should somebody choose to work with you? What are you doing that the next person is not doing? What is that piece of information that you are able to bring? What is that value that you are able to add? What is the vision that you are able to show them that the next person is not able to show them? If you don't invest in your craft and then you say that the craft doesn't bring you returns, that's not fair.
Where a majority of agents are making mistakes, like what do you see? Like someone who is not making deals, or what is maybe a red flag or mistakes, whatever.
This is the thing. Most agents they are running after a deal. So for most people, they want a deal regardless of anything. But pause and ask the client what they want, right? One of the things that you see most people within our industry, when we meet people, and they'll be like, what are you focusing on right now? And the answer is usually supposed to be, I'm focusing on this developer's project. But that is never the answer. The answer, if anybody asks me that, the first thing I say is, I'm focusing on my client. I'm focusing on what my client's need is. If my client is telling me that my need is a studio, but I have an agenda to sell him a townhouse, it's never going to work out.
It's like you ask them what they need instead of you tell them what you have.
Correct. You understand what their requirement is. Provide a solution to their problem. That is sales. When you provide a solution to somebody's problem, that is sales. Don't have the agenda of pushing your product. That is never going to work.
It's amazing. So we spoke about real estate, but right now I want to get more into content. Like, you know, there are many people who are doing content right now. But I saw your content, which is actually funny. because many creators, real estate creators, they just speak about product. They say like, this is the project, these are the facilities, these are the amenities, and they are just trying to sell on social media. But what you are doing is totally different. You're entertaining people. You are creating content across different fields. And yeah.
This is the one thing I tell my team as well, right? Offer value. It all comes back to the same thing. Offer value.
Mm-hmm.
You like my content because I've never tried to sell you anything. Nobody likes to be sold to. Nobody. When you go to a clothing store to buy clothes and a store associate comes and tells you, hey, Junaid, buy this t-shirt. This is going to look really good on you. Hey, Junaid, buy this t-shirt. You're going to be like, hey, bro, give me 2 minutes. Let me just see what's available. Maybe after 30 minutes of browsing the store, you will probably pick up the same t-shirt that the guy was trying to show you in the first place, right? He's an expert in his field. He knows what he's doing. He's looking at you. He's looking at your body type. He's, seeing how you style your hair and how you are styled in general. And be like, okay, this is what's going to look good on him. But you still, as a buyer, want to go on that journey on your own. And after 30 minutes, come to the conclusion that, yes, maybe that t-shirt is good for me.
It's like we want to experience everything.
Correct. So nobody likes, people want to enjoy something with people they know, people they trust, people that are their friends. So provide value.
Is it a generation? Because, I come from a Generation Z background, right? So it's like, we don't like people giving us advice.
And it's not just your generation, it's every generation. I didn't like it when my father was trying to give me advice. My father didn't like it when my grandfather was trying to give him advice, and so on and so forth. None of us. And exactly this is why. But it's like this. If I tell you, hey, Junaid, you know what? You could improve this podcast by saying 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things. Mm-hmm. And you would be like, immediately, you'd be like, who the hell do you think you are to advise me on my podcast? Like, this is my podcast, right? Yeah. But if I tell you, hey, Junaid, I really like this podcast. You are adding so much value. You are doing this. But you know what? If you could add this one section, maybe this might make it better. You're more kind of inclined to listen to me then. Right?
So it's like people are pointing you a negativity instead of telling what exactly you can do.
Yeah. So in terms, when we make content, especially real estate related content, this is something I do and I tell my team this also. Aim to provide value, make informative content, make educative content, make funny content, make general content, show properties, but do it gracefully, do it with dignity.
Don't push.
Don't push, don't have an agenda, and don't ever cheapen your industry. Upholding the dignity of your industry is your responsibility.
What do you have to say about businesses, let's not talk about just real estate, who are not creating content right?
I think it's a curve. The earlier, it's a learning curve, and the earlier you understand that this is where the next generation is, every generation has to learn something that they are not used to. For our parents' generation, so for us, for instance, emails are very normal. Yes. But for our parents, they had to learn how to send an email. This is not something that they were used to, and they were forced to learn that. So for our generation, maybe understanding that the digital space is where we have to take all our businesses, and it seems unconventional to us, but the earlier we are able to adapt to that change, I think the more ahead of the curve we will be.
Sure.
I think everybody should do content and should be active on social media. The benefit of social media is that it connects us, like it's connected you to me. I would have never met you otherwise.
Exactly.
I think there's power in connection.
Exactly. So what do you think about consistency? Like there are people who start creating content, but before starting this podcast, 3 times I literally felt like I wanted to start podcast. But first time when I did 90 podcasts at one set. That was during lockdown.
Okay.
So later on, I wanted, now it became a responsibility for me to create content. But I am trying to put efforts. I am trying to do this, that. It's not working.
Yeah.
But, it takes time to create content. But consistency, what do you think about consistency?
Consistency is everything. It's not about starting. Anybody can start. Anybody today that has a smartphone can create content. Mm-hmm. So it's not about starting. It's about continuing. Consistency is everything. Mm-hmm. Most people lack there. And that's why, this is the thing I said when we sat down, persistence overcomes resistance.
Yes.
If you have to be persistent, you have to be consistent. You have to do it. It has to be religion.
All right. So we come to the last segment of the podcast. I have a few questions with regards to values and lives.
Okay.
So what was one of your real estate career look like? What did you sacrifice for it? Maybe you said about your friends and...
My time with my friends and family. My first year of real estate, I have worked almost 14 to 16 hours each day, every day from Sunday to Saturday. And I did not get to meet with my friends that much. I lost 90% of my friends, couldn't keep up, and they're no longer a part of my life. The 10% who actually made the effort, that friendship was carried on their shoulders. And I'm eternally grateful to them for that. I was not a friend, but they were still my friend. My family, of course, they still stood by me. But yeah, the first year is extremely difficult. It's down in the trenches. When you're building, you're down in the trenches, and it's fine.
Is it like when you're growing or when you're taking any step, like you leave few people behind and the gap between your friends or your families, it gets bigger and bigger along the time?
I like how you phrased it, that, the more you grow in life, you leave some people behind. Yes, of course you do. You leave some people behind. Your value systems change, your future, your vision of the future, your way to fulfill that vision. Everything is different. So yeah, I mean, sometimes you have to understand that some people's chapter in your journey is over. Doesn't mean that they're bad people. They're all good people. When you meet them, you still do salam dua with them, but you outgrow some people, and that's fine, because that is required to grow to the next step.
Got it.
Doesn't include that. Sorry to cut you, but that doesn't include family. Your family stays with you no matter where you go, and no matter how. This is just my opinion. No matter how complicated your life becomes or how complicated your job becomes, sometimes you can't explain it to your family, but sometimes they don't need to understand.
What did you prioritize at that time, at your growing stage?
Building, showing up, doing it day after day, day after day, day after day, day after day. One of the most important things that somebody has ever told me, and that has made so much difference to my life, is, one of my gym trainers, once I told them that I don't have motivation to work out every day. And they're like, who told you that you need to be motivated to work every day? You don't need to be motivated every day. You can work out without being motivated. It's fine. You just need to show up. And I was like, yeah, that makes sense. I can still work out even though I'm demotivated.
Yes.
It's just a thing that I have to do. It's discipline and it's consistency. I have to do it. I don't need to be motivated every day. So that's what I focused on in the initial stage. It didn't matter if the content that I was making was good or bad. Were people liking it or not liking it? Was it clicking, not clicking? Was it viral, not viral? Was I getting a client? Was I not getting a client? Not important. Do it anyway. Do it regardless. You owe it to yourself. One day it will pay off, and eventually it does.
Have you ever felt like quitting?
Of course. Of course you feel like quitting. There are difficult days. I am a workaholic, and there are days when I wake up in the morning and it's not like a groggy, I've just woken up. It's like my eyes are awake and I'm like, I need to tell this person to send this to this client developer. I need to clarify this with this person. And that's where I know that I'm overworked. And sometimes you feel like, oh, I wish I didn't have to do any of this. But then you just take a break and come back.
So that's it for the conversation. It was really nice talking.
Thank you.
So thank you so much for being on the podcast. It was really nice talking to you. Lots of insights, lots of life lessons. Thank you so much for being on the podcast.
Thank you very much for having me. It was very, very enjoyable. And I wish you all the best. And inshallah, wishing you more and more luck as you go forth in this venture.
Inshallah. Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot.